passion, and that effectively zones the members of Alter Ego away from the fight. So they need some kind of zoning power, some crowd control, some AoE damage. I guess in that game it was Elzura, and as you can see, when Elzura wasn't disturbed, when he had all the time to position and actually dish out the damage, Alter Ego starts to falter, right? We saw Pi struggle, get caught out. But when they were able to just dive towards him and Elzura is forced to back away and he can't use the real-world manipulation, that's a whole different story. So they need a bit more of that for GeekFam if they want to go with the Franco. But if they want to go with, for example, the Grok that we saw yesterday, they can do something completely different. And I think GeekFam right now has the potential to just switch it up on Alter Ego and give them a completely different look.
Perhaps even the Ruby that we saw yesterday. We have seen a lot of heroes picked up by both of these teams. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump straight in to game number 2's draft. Again, presented to you by the Samsung Galaxy A series. It is Alter Ego who goes for the blue side now, switching sides with GeekFam as it's actually the Franco first ban. So there's already some respect even after the game 1 loss that GeekFam suffered.
Yeah, it's not just Franco being respect banned here from Alter Ego Esports, but the Cho of Leo Murphy has been banned away as well. And I do think this is a smart ban, but I'm not sure how smart it is to be put in that first phase. But we'll see how this all unfolds, as now the Akai is also going to be the choice of ban coming in from Alter Ego, followed by Julian.
Ooh, this is a bit dangerous for the side of GeekFam because we kept talking about how strong the Valentina as well as the Paramis is. And so Alter Ego, they have a chance to force GeekFam to ban out one of those heroes and then secure something, you know, one of the equivalent heroes on their own side.
Well, let's take a look here at the bans. Alter Ego, they're taking away the Akai, a hero that can be just a real threat to everybody on the side of Alter Ego if they want to go for that dive composition, that early game centric objective control that they were able to implement in game number 1. But GeekFam, they're more or less respecting the power picks that came through from Alter Ego. The Julian, I want to touch on this a little bit more, guys. We haven't seen a Julian mid in quite a long time. I think the last time we actually saw the Julian mid was at MSC. It's been nerfed 2 times since, and I think me, Omwawa, Arashi, even you, Eterna, we've spoken about this. Julian, with the nerfs, is better in the jungle compared to the mid lane or the XP lane. It feels like he's become more one-dimensional. Playing it in the jungle, you can still make it work, but Udil was able to play it in the mid lane and actually have such a massive impact with the dive and the damage that he's able to provide with a full damage build.
I do believe that that's correct, and I think the way that Julian works now is that you can also kind of hedge on his ability to be very utility-centered. The knock-up is so annoying, especially when you go for a team fight if they want to be counter-engaged by the side of GeekFam. That's easily disabled by someone like the Julian with all the cool tools he has in his kit. But yes, Mirko as well as Arashi, the Fanny once again is going to be chosen here, but this time around it's going to be into the hands of Sally Boy. Now, Sally Boy and Fanny has been good, but there are times that he underperformed on this Fanny last season.
Exactly. I think there will be a lot of questions, right, on how well he can actually use this Fanny. And I think along with that, what will the rest of the team pick to try and facilitate this Fanny pick, and what can GeekFam use as a counter, right? They have the Atlas or Kufra available if they want to try and use something of that nature. The Cho that was used by Alter Ego earlier won't be available. So the first 2 picks for GeekFam will be the Eve, and that 1-1 on Kadira, man. Mirko is, you know, nodding in approval right now. He is expecting big things from the man himself, Kadira.
I was smiling all the way through as I looked towards the bans while you guys were talking, because both 1-1 and Fanny were left open. So you could say that maybe, oh, GeekFam made a mistake by letting that Fanny go, but I would actually say that they made the right choice. They wanted to just trade heroes. If you want to pick up the Fanny, we'll pick up 2 prio heroes instead. They pick up the Yve and the 1-1. The thing is, though, it's going to be tough for the 1-1 and the Yve. If they are up against a Fanny, if Alter Ego decides to just play around this Fanny with more dive heroes, it can be really scary. Perhaps an Atlas could come here for Alter Ego. They go for Esmeralda first, a solid pick that's still very good, 100% win rate so far. But oh my god, I forgot that Natalia was left open. Natalia on the hands of Leo Murphy. If Cho was a signature pick, then this
is also one.
Oh, this is this is his comfort pick.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. And Beloyski now picks up the Grok as well. He was able to steal Lords, initiate plays, flank against RRQ the other day, so we'll have to see what he can do against Alter Ego. Geek Fam will ban out the Beatrix, so Alter Ego is still hiding what Nino will be on right now. And look, if you look at how the composition is already developing for Alter Ego, all three of these members can actually start something on their own. So that is just facilitating the aggressive style they like to play in. For Geek Fam, I think so far the only real engage tool they have is the real manipulation as well as the wild charge.
Yeah, but in the hands of Beloyski, that just might be possible. I mean, the amount of impact he had in yesterday's game was very evident, as now we're going into the second phase of the draft ban and picks, and the Dairoth is going to be the choice of ban from the side of Alter Ego Esports, realizing that they have opted for that Esmeralda in that EXP lane, and what better to counter the Esmeralda than the Dairoth, and therefore the Dairoth has been banned. Now, from Geek Fam, they've already banned the Beatrix. What else do you think are they going to ban?
I actually expected Geek Fam to go for the Ruby pick here, knowing that they are up against a Fanny. They need a single target lockdown, and perhaps maybe just an AoE lockdown with the Ruby. They do go for the Grok. Yes, it has CC, it has utility to provide a team, but I think that single target lockdown will be transferred over to the XP lane. Now, which heroes? Oh, with the Esmeralda pick, it already takes out the Phoveus away from Geek Fam, though.
Right, I mean, maybe the idea was that if you can use the walls, because Beloyski's walls, by the way, a bit underrated, I feel, because it was really solid. It's always well placed and well timed. Maybe the idea is that the walls will be able to zone away the members from Alter Ego from capitalizing on a huge moment, especially the Fanny with the cables, right? If the cables are blocked, maybe that is exactly what Geek Fam is aiming for. They banned out the Lilia though, so maybe Geek Fam, they want to bring aggression of their own. The final ban for Alter Ego will be the Health Curt, so I think they're respecting the potential for the silence. We saw that it was very, very effective in the right hands yesterday.
Okay, so now for the side of Geek Fam, they do have the choice for that first pick. This Grok is still a flex pick though, right? He can be placed in that EXP lane, and the Ruby could actually just work, because other than the fact that the Ruby can work against the Fanny, I do think that Ruby is great against the Natalia as well. Every time Natalia wants to go for those pickoffs, it's so easy for that to be negated with the I'm Offended as well as skill 1 as well as skill 2 from Ruby herself. But as you can see here, Geek Fam has now picked up the Balman, who I believe might go into that jungle position.
Yeah, definitely will go to that jungle position on the hands of Hans. Oh my god, what is going on? Lunox pickup for Alter Ego, and my goodness, that is why. That's why they didn't pick up Nino's hero. Well, that's why we thought they didn't pick up Nino's hero, but Nino's hero was the Esmeralda all along, or perhaps the Phoveus. Now,
could be the Phoveus.
Could be the Phoveus to go up against a 1-1, but I actually prefer Esmeralda to go up against the 1-1 in the early stage. Phoveus gets absolutely bullied by the 1-1 before he gets that demonic force. If you just let Pi on his Phoveus farm up to level 4, then you swap lanes, I think that's going to be the optimal choice for Alter Ego. Also, they picked up a very solid late-game insurance hero on that Lunox. It's all up to Geek Fam to wrap up their draft. They need a lockdown hero, possibly more CC or disengage, and that's exactly not what they go for.
Oh my god.
Offense. That's the answer that Geek Fam are trying to go with.
This is not a normal Selena, guys. This is Beloyski Selena.
We mentioned it.
Oh my god, okay, so there are favorites, heroes, power picks, comfort picks all around here for game number 2, as Alter Ego as well as Geek Fam, they're going gun blazing here, taking out all their comfort picks as well as their pocket strategies. And I'm so excited to see, because when I heard Beloyski was coming into Geek Fam, everyone was like, guys, Beloyski, Selena, be careful, bro. And I want to know why, and we're going to see why.
We're going to see why, Arashi? Why?
Why? Well, there are a lot of squishy members on the side of Alter Ego, so if he lands those Abyssal Arrows, that is going to be an absolute menace from the side of Geek Fam. But also, the Abyssal Traps against Natalia will be very useful in scouting out for information. That is something you need when you're trying to play, when you're trying to mitigate the aggression coming in for the opposing team. But now we go straight into game number 2, Mirko.
Let's jump into the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen, for game number 2. But it's not going as I predicted here already. Nino, yeah, going straight to that gold lane. He does not care, but he has to be careful though. Against the Selena in the early game with a 1-1 as well, he can be locked down really easily. He has to play it very intelligently in this lane, but here we go. We're in the game. Udil in the mid lane, actually winning it out with the help of Natalia.
Oh yeah, it does seem like that is going to be the case. A 2v1 situation though from the flip side as Beloitsky goes in aggressively onto Nino.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was worried about. If you play the Phobius in the gold lane, you're going to get bullied. But Leo Murphy trying to do the same thing onto Beloitsky, who is still able to push on with the dash and getting a shield there with a passive. But both the teams disengage. GEEK fam, ooh, close Abyssal Arrow.
I love this kind of similar strategy coming in from but Beloitsky goes down in first blood by the Samsung Galaxy A series here, gets popped up, but now Leo Murphy might be in trouble.
Uh-oh, I don't think he is though. Leo Murphy gets out of that engage, that initial fight, but wow, what a play by Leo Murphy. He didn't expect, I think, Leo Murphy to come back.
Well, who would have? I thought he was done. He was going to back away. It's 1v2, but he just goes in, man. Now Han going 1v1 against Sally Boy. He will be forced to back away. And GEEK fam, despite being the initiators, the initial people who actually started the cheese strat, they actually aren't winning in the early game.
Sally Boy as well, using really well. Leo Murphy, he has a grudge against Beloitsky, man. He is targeting him. Wait a minute, Beloitsky with the plays, getting the Abyssal Arrow down. Not enough damage to get the kill, but these two roamers are going at it, man. There's beef around amongst them.
Yeah, revenge story by the two assassin roamers here, Leo Murphy as well as Beloitsky, as they are trying to give as much impact as they can for their fellow gold laners as well. But Blue here, it caught in a 2v1 situation.
You just can't play aggressively, that aggressive in the early game as well. What? This is the early game. How is Lunox dealing that much damage with the Chaos Assault? Arashi, what's going on?
I mean, that's a question everyone's asking, man. Alter Ego is just going ham. High now will be taken quite low, but overall, I think Alter Ego will get a comfortable secure onto this turtle after making sure that Luke won't be part of the equation. Beloitsky tries his best to steal. We've seen it before, but he will not be successful. Turtle slain by Samsung Galaxy A series as a dive happens to the top side.
Oh, beautiful crossbow tank by Chadera. Off literally in the last second as Leo Murphy jumps onto him. But again, it's just Alter Ego mimicking that early game pressure they had in game number 1, using it here to control the tempo of the game. And if GEEK fam doesn't read this out, it's going to be very, very scary for them. Speaking of Leo Murphy, the man that you see on the camera, take a look at his statistics, Arashi.
Yeah, 48% win rate, but yes, the most picked hero is the Cho and the Natalia, so you really got to respect the possibilities for that to happen, man. Leo Murphy right now is finding info, and Udil follows up on it.
Oh, that single target damage is just so lethal. And look at Sally Boy is able to go with the cables and the cutthroat to pick up another kill. GEEK fam have no answers to Alter Ego's early aggression.
Man, and this is a lot of aggression as well. Everyone is actually putting in some pieces of the puzzle here to be able to make GEEK fam quite in disarray as of right now. Alter Ego Esports standing with a 2,000 gold lead right now, and Nino has just recently secured that Clock of Destiny as well.
It really seems like GEEK fam just isn't ready, man. They are being out-strategized. It seems like Alter Ego is at home in this kind of playstyle, and GEEK fam is just struggling to keep up. As Sally Boy goes in for another aggressive play.
Oh my god, again, forcing that sprint out of Elzura right before they're actually, they're actually already setting up. They're always converting on things, and Beloitsky getting caught again. He's gonna fall here. He uses the flicker defensively. He actually is able to escape for a little bit, but Sally Boy jumps in. That cable management was so on point again. Chadera, he goes in for the crossbow tang, able to pop it just in the last second there. But look at the sandwich maneuver. Demonic Force popped and used. Chadera not dashing at all. He's actually gonna be able to outplay Nino, but look at Leo Murphy picking up the scraps. Might lose his life in the process, but no, he gets out with the dashes. It's a 1-for-1 up top.
Ooh, he nearly got taken down there. Luckily, Leo Murphy was able to get out of there, realizing that Elzura was in the vicinity. But with that in mind, it is actually going to be GEEK fam with the upper hand in that turtle, as it is going to be the turtle slain camera by the Samsung Galaxy A series.
I really thought that. I believe the idea for Alter Ego was to actually, bait out GEEK towards the turtle, and then unexpectedly dive in Kadira and shut him down from there, right? Give Nino the advantage in the lane, let Nino just crush him there. But Kadira was able to outplay it, and so it becomes an equal trade, kind of. And looking at the items right now, Enchanted Talisman gun for the side of high as Sally Boy!
Oh, Sally Boy. Eterna.
Man.
Wow.
He just goes in, man, and just like that, not done yet. Leo Murphy goes in for the play. Solo kills Zaborowski!
Leo Murphy, Sally Boy, everyone, but it's gonna be Hans who finally picks up a kill in the trade here. Alter Ego just grabbing the members of GEEK, taking them out just like you guys can go and grab food. But look at Hans, he's gonna be in the midst of the damage that Sally Boy is able to push out there. They pick up the mid lane turret, Sally Boy goes in again. Elzura has nowhere to go. The cable management from Sally Boy is on point. But Luke here comes in with a wild charge. Able to CC him for a bit. Hans coming in for that lethal counter, not in range. Sally Boy gets out, and Tadera does not get the range in to use any of his abilities. Alter Ego, though, Leo Murphy again and again. Oh, Beloyski has the conceal. He has the conceal. It's not going to be. Oh, the run. The battle. No. Leo Murphy finally catches up to him. Nino as well up top. That's the crossbow tag already ready for Tadera, but yeah, you're not going to use it.
Oh, and the flame shot actually goes in from Nino onto Kadira as Leo Murphy goes in aggressively, takes Kadira's life, and that is going to be Elzura, unable to defend his fellow teammate.
Uh-oh, Leo Murphy, you bit too much than you can chew, but that was still a worth trade, a roamer for a gold laner.
Absolutely, man. This Natalia is completely oppressive. They never know where Leo Murphy is, and he can essentially 1v1 majority of the heroes on the map right now, except for, say, maybe Hans. But Hans can spend all his time just looking for Leo Murphy in the jungle. And as GEEK can scramble, try and get control in the game, Alter Ego secured the next turtle. Turtle slain by Samsung Galaxy A series.
Man, this is so different to game number one. Game number one was very systemized. Sure, there was a lot of action, but not like this. Not the chaos that we've seen right now. Already 12-3 here in the 7th minute, as we do have a fun fact here by Grab. Something that we've mentioned earlier as well is that Selena is the signature hero from Beloyski. During M3, Selena's Beloyski was only chosen one time against RRQ themselves, and that actually got them a win.
Well, right now it doesn't seem like it's working that well against Alter Ego. Again, man, I think if you kind of match them in aggression, you have to bring something else, something special. You're coming up with the usual. Sally Boy goes in.
Oh, man. Oh, my Nino. Again, this is just what he does every single season. That flame shot's always been on point, on the fighter, on the Renner, any ranged ability. But look at this, that's gonna be Elzura popping the real world inflation. Hans picking up the kill onto Leo Murphy as Elzura gets dove on. High, dealing out the damage now against Hans. Nino stepping in to deal the damage as well. But look at the way they sidestep. Even the micromanagement here, they don't get overly, they don't overcommit into anything. They watch, they look at everything that's going on, dodging away from the Abyssal Arrow. But not this time though. Beloyski gets hit, but no follow-up. Again, they can't really follow up now that they're 4,000 gold behind, 13-4.
It's insane, right? Because Sally Boy was one of the things that we mentioned before the game. As soon as we saw the Fanny lockup, we were thinking, is Sally Boy able to perform as well as he should on someone like the Fanny? And so far, the answer has been yes. He's been very consistent. He focuses on his farming, but his killer instinct is definitely on. He goes in at the right time to deal out the last amounts of damage to secure those hero wins that he eventually needs along the lines. And now Alter Ego Esports, with that in mind, they're leading quite heavily with 4,000, but I don't think GEEK wants to go down without a fight here.
Oh, they've actually used 2 ultimates there to go for damage on 2 words. Oh my god, Sally Boy gets topped down. Beloyski gets the shutdown here. Tadera's still able to kite away. Demonic Force does not fail. He gets the flame shot at will as Pi just deals. Well, he just soaks in everything. There's not, just the damage tickles him. Did you see that? 4 people were on him.
4 people on him, and he doesn't care at all. That is a 2-for-1 for the side of GEEK, though. It is Tadera still having such a difficult game, but right there, Beloyski was able to land the stun, the Abyssal Arrow, onto Sally Boy, and that will be his first death in the game. We're talking about Sally Boy, right? His killer instinct has never been in question. Sometimes it seems like he has too much killer instinct, but in this game, he's been absolutely calculated. And Leo Murphy, though, he is making sure that GEEK has to use all their ultimate strength to take him out.
Perfect positioning by Alter Ego, pinning him down, and that's when the kill picks up. But Hans almost finds a trade. That's a killing spree picked up by Udo. Abyssal Arrow connecting on to Pi. But I can't help but feel, again, the Selena pin. if it's not onto either Udil, Leo Murphy, or Sully Boy, it's gonna be tough. I think even if he connects it onto Sully Boy, it's gonna be really rough. Because if he actually pops the cable before that Abyssal Arrow lands, he still dashes away.
That's what I wanted to mention. They went in for a very risky composition from the side of Geek Fam, understanding that they do have a Fanny.
Wow.
It's different, right? Because in game number 1, when Geek Fam picked up the Fanny, Alter Ego Esports chose someone like the Cho, who has a more reliable source of CC to inhibit the Fanny from going crazy. But this time around, it's very difficult for Geek Fam to do that, as now we're going to take a look here at the items, Arash.
Look at the difference between Kadira and Nino, man. Nino is not snowballing too crazy, but he has 4 items right now, including the boots, and Kadira is left behind. Later on, he has the advantage of the range of the outplay potential with the crossbow of Tang, but we saw against RRQ that you can nullify that by building a Winter Sunshine, and there's a multitude of members on the side of Alter Ego that can go for that option. And aside from that, Udil has a built-in outplay mechanic, so Kadira is not going to have a good time later on in the game.
Just look at his items. He's forced to build very, very defensively. A 1-1 with only a corrosion scythe and DHS. He's not able to go for any more damage here. He needs to go for the Athena next and then win a nature. I just don't see him going for any more offensive items. And even here, it just seems like desperate attempts from Geek Fam to zone Alter Ego away from their base. They're turtling in, but their high ground all relies on 2 members here. Give and 1-1. You see the damage coming through. Boloisky taken down to a quarter of his health. Elzura as well, half HP. But if you take a look at Alter Ego, they're all still full HP. They're fresh, even though they're the ones doing the siege.
It's kind of difficult because they do have a 7,000 gold gap, and they're relying heavily on Elzura, who needs to be able to get those items as well. Sure, Yi has a huge base amount of damage, but as Alter Ego Esports progress through their items and they can build those magic defense items, it's going to be very difficult for Elzura to have the impact that they initially intended for Elzura. They need the utility, they need the slow, they need to be able to hinder Alter Ego Esports, but the problem is as well, Alter Ego, they have people like Udil on the Lunox who's able to just kind of like maneuver around the big real-world manipulations that may or may not land upon them.
The only saving grace for Geek Fam right now is the fact that Pi is serving as the main engage tool as well as the front line for the side of Alter Ego. So if he doesn't have the option of just diving onto Elzura and zoning him out of fights completely. So that is something that Geek Fam can take advantage of. But once Nino gets stronger, he can somewhat serve as a secondary front line. He can serve as the dive going in the back line. So it's just going to be very difficult, and Geek Fam needs to try and, I don't know, take full potential, take full advantage of how much Elzura can be a nuisance for the side of Alter Ego.
The damage dealt by Axe there is actually shown. And oh my
goodness,
Udil, that's a tank!
And that's a Lunox.
That is a dead tank.
That is a dead tank, and that's a dead 1-1. Now add on to the list, Elzura will fall as well. What the heck? Alter Ego, complete dominance here. Boloisky trying to land out of his own arrow, trying to zone the members away, but Alter Ego takes the base turret. No high ground left. Lethal counter and the retribution by Hans there. Pi jumps in onto Beloy. They're looking to end the game right here, right now. Udil on this Lunox with the help of Murphy. What? Sully Boy finds it. Another kill goes on to the hands of Alter Ego. The immortality will fall there for Sully Boy, but the game will be sealed. A 2-0 victory. A complete shutout for Alter Ego.